marketing messages. So here we have got, I'm just going to share the view here so that we've got full screen mode. Awesome. Cool. So your brand and marketing messages. This is going to be quite an interesting journey because now you've figured out who your ideal client is, you've figured out your genius zone, you've got your powerful package of services, the product, the service that you're selling. It's now about how to get the message out to market and how to put your brand into the picture. So that's what we're going to be covering today. So key topics: authenticity equals power. This is a big thing we're going to share today. Everyone loves to meet and work with people who are authentic and comfortable with who they are and what their business is offering. So we're going to get ready to go deep and uncover more of your authenticity. Now, all of you know your authentic selves on some levels, but the challenge that we sometimes have is showing our authentic selves to others. So we're going to dive into a little bit more about that. Then it's going to be about how to create compelling content, so your actual marketing plan. The visuals, so this is the branding side, the visuals for standing out, and here is how we'll figure out to choose brand colors, images, and expressions that ideally suit you and your business. And then how to create consistency in your brand across all mediums and platforms, including obviously Instagram, Facebook, visuals, copy, etc. So a fair bit to cover today, and this is a really fun topic. So it's quite creative, it's quite a visual type of work we're going to be diving into. So let's do just that. So remember how we talked about this area here? We keep coming back to this, which is the combination of your genius zone, your ideal client, the transformation that you help provide, and how when you bring those together, in amongst it is your unique, powerful, profitable offering, your package of services. And now we're boxing it all up. And if you can see the screen here, you can see a lovely big yellow box surrounding those three areas. And that's what makes up our marketing messages. Now we're going to go deeper into how to actually construct the marketing message. But branding and marketing and getting your message out there is all about authenticity. So thank goodness, gone are the days that people want to have this ultra professional sort of, overdone, over the top kind of messaging, especially when we're selling to smaller to medium-sized businesses and definitely to end consumers. So if you're selling to individuals, this is where it really comes into play. And I know that's where all of you ladies are at. So people buy from people, as we know, and they want to know that they can trust you. They want to build that know, like, trust factor that we keep talking about. So the more of you and your authenticity you can put in your marketing and your branding, the better it will be. And no one can be better at being you than you. Now, this is a big shift in our personal development to feel comfortable to let go of the masks of business, the mask that we must be someone different than who we truly are. And so when we represent really our own authenticity in business, that can be quite the personal development journey. So less striving and more letting go of the masks that we feel we need to put up, and more instead being who we are and speaking our truths and speaking about how our powerful offering helps your ideal client where they're currently at and where they want to move to, and shifts and change the direction for your ideal client to want to make some kind of commitment with you, whether it's to download your lead magnet or to book a discovery call with you and indeed become your client. So this is how powerful it is. Moving on. So how do we actually create compelling content? So we are creating compelling content by first of all doing a big brain dump session on your past and story, which you've done in the previous workbook. So write out as many things as you would like to share in the dot points, including stories that highlight your pain, problem, challenges that you once had in this area. Or indeed, if you're a service-based business like marketing professional, for example, then you're talking about the pain and problem and challenges that clients of yours had, or what people normally have in the industry. So it's not always about your journey and story in every bit of marketing content you do. You can refer to de-identified clients or what commonly happens in the industry. And then you talk about what life was like for you in those moments, the good, the bad, the ugly. People want to know the real truth. It's not about this perfect image of nothing ever going pear-shaped in business or life. So the more real and relatable you are, the more that they can build a connection with you. So for example, if you're selling to individuals and the transformation you're helping to provide them is based on one that you've made yourself, then you can talk about your own journey and story. If you are a service-based provider selling more to businesses, then you're talking about what it was like for people who didn't use your services and what happened, and they'll be able to relate to that because it's often what's happening for them. And then you're talking about, what did you really desire? What did your client really desire? What was the transformation that you think you wanted back then? Was it different to the transformation you then went on to have? And how you moved through it to your brand new day, which is your new desired reality. What was the transformation you experienced? And then you're talking, so that's more about yourself, which is if that's suitable to your business model. And then you're doing the same thing. What's your ideal client's problems and challenges? What keeps them up at night? What are their frustrations? What are their pain points? What are what's holding them back? What are they fearful of? Then talking about what their deepest desires are. What's the kind of transformation that they're looking for? What's the real deep desire that they'd love to be feeling, thinking, seeing, doing, being? And then what brand new day, which is this new reality, do your clients want? What transformation do they want? How do they want to feel? Creating compelling content about all of these aspects is what's going to be super powerful to get your message across. Because marketing, promotion, branding is not about, hey, this is me and this is what I do and I'm fantastic. It's always about building a connection between you and your ideal client, building that connection so they can build that know, like, trust factor with you, so that they're inspired to take some kind of action with you. As we know, download the content to get on your email list, book a discovery call, become a client. That's in a nutshell what the reason for creating compelling and consistent content is all about. And that's the key other area. It's consistency. Consistency in putting content out there regularly. And content can mean a Facebook post, a blog, an Instagram post, an Instagram story, a Facebook Live, a newsletter to your list. All of those things is powerful content. So, what is your brand? People have many different things about what brands are, but you can discover what your brand archetype is by following that link, and I'll put it into the workbook as well. It's seriesmooney.com, and it helps you understand what your brand archetype is. So what kind of brand do you want to build? She's got a questionnaire, a little quiz to do to help you understand what it is. Now, branding is actually an essence of who you are. It's the personal connection that is the key, as I mentioned before. You want to build and create that know, like, trust factor and ensure cohesiveness across all of your platforms. So this is a process to enjoy and to allow your creative energy to flow. Your brand is representation of how you feel into it, and so you want to be unapologetically you. As you know, there's no one greater to be. So when you're putting your marketing messages out there, it is for your ideal client. Other people may see it and whatever, it doesn't matter. You're doing this messaging for a specific person. That's why you're speaking directly to them. Because if you don't shape your brand, other people will shape it for you, both based on what they know, see, and feel about you. So if it's too inconsistent and it hasn't been curated and tailored from you, then other people will come up with different perceptions. And it's the process of influencing perception. You want your brand to be unique, specific, and well designed to help you attract your ideal clients, clarify what you stand for in the world, and communicate your unique value. That's what it's all about. So, moving on to the visuals. So, there are a couple of visuals in your brand. There's the logo, there's the style guide. So, the style guide is all about fonts and images and different shapes and things that you have in your branding. And there's also your images, like your photo shoot that you might have done, some photos of yourself, images that help tell your story or help put some interesting elements into your content. And you can get some free images that you don't need to be paying any copyright dues to through Pixabay, for example. There's a number of them. So if you Google free images and make sure that it's not copyrighted, then you can use those images. Sometimes you need to reference the artist or the person who's taken, or the photographer, so make sure that you do your due diligence and check in on that. Now, how do you actually create what colors and shapes and different things you want to do is you need to go out and do some research. I know a lot of you have this chosen already. For those of you that don't, then it's a good idea to pick that. But you get onto Pinterest, for example, and look for colors, shapes, and general mood and feel that you find attractive. And that can be helped to be designed by the personality, or rather the brand archetype quiz that you do that I mentioned in the previous slide. And then it's about creating a style guide and actual images that you're going to use in your posts. And that can be done through Canva. And if you go to canva.com, canva.com, you can have a free account and you can create all of these great images to use in your Instagram, Facebook, etc. All right, so now how to create your marketing plan. So we've talked about branding and the importance of creating this look, feel, experience for your ideal clients so that you can warmly invite them into your world, help to create a connection with them so that they take action on booking a call with you, downloading, becoming a client. Now we've talked about marketing messages, and now this is about putting it all into a plan so that you can build that connection. Now I want you to create a weekly plan, and the workbook helps with this, that is accompanying this video. And it's all about how to write content. These are the key principles for you to write what's known as your UVP, which stands for Unique Value Proposition. And it's all about, this is the 5 steps to take when writing content. And this is whether it's a Facebook post, a Facebook Live, an Instagram post, an Instagram story, a blog, anything, a bit of content you want to write. It's all about, number 1, this is my message. 2, this is what you need to know. 3, this is the change that you can create in your life or business, depending on who you're selling to. And here's what it costs if you don't take action. And number 5, and here's how I can help you, which is your solution. So you write your messages and sell at the end. This principle applies to all type of messaging that you do, all types of sales copy. So you create that towards the end. Now there'll be a couple of times in the post or the live that you can make reference to your program or whatever it is, pepper it in, but you create more of the content around that, around the bottom. So let's go more into how this is done. Now, this is where the rubber hits the road. I want you to think when you are doing your any kind of posting, that's why I want you to create a weekly plan actually, because you want your content to be, pre-prepared in a way. Sometimes if you sit at the computer and think, right, I've got to write something, it can get a little too overwhelming and we self-sabotage and we can completely stop altogether. So what you want to do is create a plan. And I'll share with you a document that I use, which helps me to prepare some content prior. And it follows those 5 steps I mentioned before, but it talks about it like this. So in step 1, when you're talking about this is my message, what you want to do is dive straight in, grab their attention talking about something key about them that is your key truth for this message. So let's go back again. Grab their attention talking about something key about them, which is your ideal client, that links in with your key truth for this message. That's your main point. And 2, then it's talking about this is what you need to know now. Talk about the pain points and frustrations, their current problems. Talk to them where they are at right now. Hit it hard and be direct. So this is where understanding what their pain points and frustrations, their current problems are for your ideal client, and where they're currently at right now, and hit it hard, be direct. Don't be hard as in, rude, obviously. None of you would be like that. But be direct. And 3rd is, this is the change you can create in your life and business. You want to talk about what they want. What are their greatest desires? What do they want more than anything? This is understanding, obviously, when you have jotted down through that brain dump exercise that I mentioned before, talking about the pain points and frustrations of your ideal client, what desires that they want, you can just pick and choose, and that can help craft a message for you. And number 4, and here's what it will cost if you don't take action. So here you're talking about what it's going to cost if they continue to put the decision off, i.e. if they don't make a change. So often people will be feeling problems, frustrations, pain points, challenges, and they may or may not even know what their greatest desire and what outcome they want is, but what they often do is don't take any action. So they'll stay stuck in feeling that pain and always in this desire to want to do something about it, but never actually doing it. So it's really bringing this point home that if they continue to stay there, then what's the cost to them if they continue to put it off? So for example, if you're a marketing specialist and the cost of not actually having someone help with your marketing is it's going to be really hard for you to grow your business and bring in consistent revenue. Or if you're a wedding planner, what's the cost to doing everything yourself? Stress, not knowing, the ins and outs of what's going to happen at the wedding, not being prepared, blowing your budget, all sorts of things. So highlighting what's going to be the cost if you continue to put the decision off, if you don't make a change. And number 5, here's how I can help you. This is the part where you talk about what you provide and add some kind of call to action link. So in essence, it's if you are a X and you have this problem and you want this solution, then I can help. So if you are an X, which is your ideal client, and this is if you relate to this problem or challenge and you want to create this kind of outcome, then this is how I can help. I do this with women all the time, and this is how I help women. I do da 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 da. That's using an example. And that's why it's super important to actually list your pain points and desires before you even attempt to write this, so you're clear on what the biggest ones are. This is how you do your marketing. It's not about just talking about your solution as though that's all there is. You need to bring people into the journey of it You need to be able to sell the story of what's happened for you or past clients, where they were, where they ended up through the work that you've done. So you're sharing, you can be sharing testimonials, you can be sharing stories from the past, from yourself, you can be sharing what happens in your industry regularly. So this is how you're getting your marketing messages out there. It's so important too that you can see how important the authenticity aspect is. Because, and if we go back a couple of steps to my favorite slide, this one here, the genius zone, the ideal client, the transformation you help provide, is that this is where your marketing message really aligns with who you are, what's your genius zone, what are you great at, who your ideal client is, what's their problems, their challenges, and the transformation you help provide. And obviously in your genius zone, it's your story as well. That's what people, if you link your marketing messages around those three key areas and obviously your solution, which is the unique, powerful package that you offer, that's how you tie it all together. And making sure that people's experience with your brand, which is your images, what you say, what's on your website, what's on your Facebook and Instagram, colors, images, copy, tone, it all creates an experience for your ideal customer. So you want to always consistently think, what is my ideal customer seeing and feeling when they're interacting with me and my brand? Put yourself in their shoes, and that can help shape a lot of things for you. So quite a lot of content to go through, but you can really start to see how we're gaining momentum here now that we've done those foundational elements of Genius Zone, ideal client, transformation you help provide, and unique package of services. Now it's about getting these messages into play and getting them out there. We're going to talk in our next module about how to regularly put content out there. But I want you to start this week to prepare some content, start to put it out onto your platforms, whether it's a blog, on your Facebook, on your website, or through Facebook posts, Instagram posts, whatever it might be, to start to get your message more out there. Because if people don't know that you exist and you do what you do, then it's very hard for people to take action. So good luck. Please let me know how you go. Keep me posted in the Facebook group. And I look forward to connecting with you soon in the Facebook group and on our next coaching call. Have a great week. And as always, please ask me any questions that you have about what we're doing in each of the modules, how we might be able to help you, or if you need some clarity. Because whatever you ask, other people may want to know the answer to as well. So you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping your fellow women in this group. As always, thanks so much for your attention and time, and have a great week. Take care.